First image is one for the road. One for the road.
Working.
And it's a younger guy that takes the longest.
Yeah, couldn't figure this thing out.
Oh, yeah, he might be.
Score 78.
Okay, so Mike, let's start with you.
It's been said. Okay, I scored this 77. It's a unique capture, and I really love what you have here to start with. Problem is with it is the background is really bright, so I guess that's a duck? Mallard? The bird.
Oh, no, it's a geese.
The bird.
It's a bird.
Blends into the background a lot.
It's a rabbit.
The body tends to get really soft really fast because of the aperture setting on this, but a really unique capture. Part of it on the right-hand side, some of the grass is overexposed, burned down a little bit. So if you drop the exposure down, burn it down a little bit, I think you have a better image.
Yeah. I gave this a 79. I didn't think it was merit for the simple reasons of what Michael just explained to you. But for me, there's somewhat of a ghosting going around the bird at the top. And I'm not sure if that's the bokeh of it and the fine feathers or whether it's pixelation that's going on around there. But it's definitely out of focus, and it looks like a cutout, but it's not. Tone this thing down, vignette it, and you'll probably get a little bit better of a shot out of it. But it's 79.
You have time where?
Go ahead, John. Yeah, sure.
I agree with everything that's been said. A lot of those light traps, those bright spots can be just cloned out, and it would help it a lot. The composition itself has kind of a direction to it. The bird is kind of pointing towards the lower, sorry, dyslexic with left and right, lower right. Is that right? Yeah. And you'd be better off cropping a little bit off the left and adding a little bit to the right to balance that composition a little bit better. But and I scored a 78.
Just one thing, John mentioned the light traps. That's pretty obvious. There's just above the head of the geese, you've got something that's cutting through that black line, like a temporary horizon. Get rid of that. Get rid of all of the hot spots in there and tone it down. You've got it in the back of the bird also. You've got some light traps there, so I would watch that.
Super Scooter.
78.
Super Scooter.
Score of 80.
Okay, we'll start with you, John.
I scored it an 81. I think it's really a pleasant little photograph. It's beautiful. You caught the really nice look on the face of the dog. The lighting is sort of even, but it's not a dramatic photograph. But I think it's really fairly well done. The one place I'm having a little bit of a problem is on the dog's right ear. You're going to get me with these right and lefts. On the left side of the image, there's a little bit of kind of a weird ghosty thing happening by the ear, and I would try to clean that up a little bit. That's it. I scored it 81.
Yeah, I scored this an 80. I thought it was adorable when it first came around, and I agree with John. That's exactly where my eye goes to. I'm having a little bit of a problem. The left side of the face is completely tack sharp, and on the right side, which John's talking about, is slightly out of focus. The other thing is, if you're going to leave a collar on a dog, have it centered or take the collar off altogether. But it's an exquisite little print, definitely worthy of a merit.
Dominance. Dominance.
Score 79.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this when this first came up. But what's really what made me score it down so much was the white horse is just blown out. I'm assuming there's tons of information in this image. So you need to pull that white horse down, just get some detail in there. It's a terrific shot, good action, well placed. The eye goes to the brightest spot, which is the first thing is the horse, and then I wander off and I stay up at the sky, and so that's why I scored 78.
Okay, Mike.
I scored a 79. What Bob said about the white horse, I agree. The impact as it first come around was phenomenal. I mean, the hair's flying, the mane is like way up there, way cool. Maybe tighten, crop down a little bit so you're closer in on the horses, and then you won't have the sky to distract you, and then the white is just blown out on the left side of the white horse. The brown horse is perfectly exposed. The white horse needs to come down just a little bit, but the impact is fantastic.
I merited it, and I was on the border of not yes, no, yes, no. I gave it an 81, mainly because it's such a great capture, and the fact that you have just this little bit of space between the horses, so you get good silhouette out of both of them. It is I'm giving you a lot of credit for getting that moment captured. But I agree with everything else that's been said, especially the cropping part. That's really where your action is, and you really don't need anything else in it.
King of Sepulveda. King of Sepulveda.
Score 79.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, I gave this an 80. This is a terrific shot. It really is. Maybe I went a little too high on this, simply because the bird is blown out, but this is just exquisite, this bird staring down at you. The bullseye effect, dead center, doesn't bother me. I wish there was more room around it so I could see the tail of the bird, but I merited, I gave it an 80.
John?
It's kind of like the horse image. We're kind of right on the fence with these things, and a lot of the same problems. Just it is a great capture, but I scored it a 78. A lot because of the blown out nature of the bird, and just the dominance of that hunk of wood that it's standing on. I wish there was you would have moved a little bit, or found a way to capture a little of the bird a little bit more out in the air. I know the animals don't cooperate that often, so but I agree with everything else that Bob had said.
Okay, Mike, anything else, or are you good?
I'd like to commend the maker on the expression of the bird. I mean, look at those eyes staring at you. That's one hell of a capture. That's awesome.
Pelican flying. Pelican flying.
Thank you. Score 77.
Okay, Mike.
I love the action shot of the pelican. A couple of things that would help enhance this. Number one is crop in just a little bit tighter. And then also the bird needs a little bit more contrast to it, a little depth of the colors, and it seems like the wings are washed out just a little bit. The body itself and the head are perfect. But the wings just seem a little mushy in the color.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, I gave this a 77. Michael's right on exactly what's going on. Just for your own reference, try to stay away from dead center, the bullseye. If you have it coming in from the right side in the lower third, it'll be more interesting. But Michael's said it all about as far as the contrast is concerned.
Okay.
If I could say one more thing. If you move it to the right just a little bit, it gives him area to fly to instead of he's already hit the end of the picture and all going out of it.
Go ahead, John.
I want to mention one more thing, and it's just the situation you were in. The dominant element of this image is the water. It's that blue, and everything that the guys said. cropping, adjusting the exposure on the on the Pelican would help that. But right now, you've got a dominant color going on, and it's really fighting against the subject.
Seal dreaming. Seal dreaming.
Score of 80.
Okay, John.
Hey, I was the good guy for once. I scored an 82. Can you guys hear me beyond the vacuum cleaner back there? I love the color harmony in this. Just really nice warm tones. It is sharp. I'm looking at the whiskers. I'm looking at the eyes. You know, even though she's sleeping, the near whiskers are really nice and sharp. The sand is sharp. I would open up the shadows a little bit over on the right side. I have to stop and think. On the right side, right there. But I think it's a really nice little portrait of some sort of seal, elephant seal maybe.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah, I was the bad guy on this. I gave it a 78. For me, it's not a flat day, and yet it just appears flat to me. There's no depth to it, and I'd like to see some more contrast added to this. I think if there was more contrast in this, it would get a separation and a length. John said everything, and it is sharp. Vignetting and contrast added, I think this will jump out at you.
Go ahead, John.
I'm just going to say, I mean, that's why you have 3 judges, because I'm looking for a little less contrast. It has this sort of a dreamy feeling, kind of a filmy feeling to it that I really like, and Bob wants to see it a little more distinct, and that's what makes a judging contest.
Okay. You good?
One comment I have, you can go. I gave an 80 just for the smile on the face. That was well done.
Yeah, it was kind of a Mona Lisa smile, wasn't it?
All right. That's the end of the animal category.